heading over to run Calvin's 395 this morning. Put it in a little kind of a fat piece of wood, I guess. Didn't have anything big enough at the house to slow it down. It cut through like a 12-13 inch piece of pretty hard wood in like 2 or 3 seconds. So wasn't much of a challenge for it. I hadn't even bothered to video, was just kind of dialing it in, but I've got some pretty good old ugly pieces of wood over here that should be a pretty good test for it. Figured I'd video a little bit of this Southwest Virginia scenery. Some people will hear me say that and think we're in West Virginia, but I'm in the Southwest region of Virginia. Kind of confusing. And when you know you're in Southwest Virginia, you'll see a church and a curve. And I'm not even joking, they're everywhere. Seems like the land in a curve must be the cheapest thing to buy, I guess. We're getting close to where we turn up to go to the property. Yeah, we are. I know, it's like half a mile. And this place is like a hunter's paradise. There's usually just, you know, deer standing everywhere and your random person that'll try to run you out of the road. This is a good friend, lives here. If you'd watched any of the wood cutting videos from probably a year and a half, 2 years back, we were in that ridge up there cutting wood. He was just standing full of like dead locust snags, and it's about all's in there really, in ash. Kind of scary walking around in there somewhere you definitely want a hard hat. Figured I'd video just a little bit. The only really video I have of the build on that, I have a little video showing the port work, and we'll probably show some of that, but you know, some people may not agree with how I port a saw, but we're about to put it in the wood and show you that it works. And you know, these saws are monsters anyway, right out of the box. I mean, hell, it's 94 cc's. Doesn't take a whole lot to wake them up any bit at all. But we got port timing, I've learned on the Huskies, is quite some bit better than most of your steels, and makes for making a pretty bad saw really easy. I don't know if you can see the creek to the left of me, and that's why we normally call this the creek. Most people call it down the creek. The name of the area is Wallens Creek. Just wildlife everywhere, farms everywhere. These people here are pretty funny. There's normally like this big flag or sign or that says Trump won, save America, but what is it, like 10 feet by 12 feet or something? You can't miss it. I wish I'd got a video of it earlier, but it's pretty funny. They're definitely Republican. I don't get into politics, but you know, it is what it is. I may or may not be a registered Republican though. But hadn't really ever shown the trip up in here. Figured I'd give you guys a view of it. Hopefully the video quality is good. About 25 degrees this morning, nice and warm. Good morning to run a saw. Not really, I'd rather be sitting beside of the stove, really. But I needed to come get it early and done before, say, noon. spring still running this morning. Little spring we drove by actually have water rights to it, but my property's probably a good 1,000 feet straight uphill from it, and it's kind of useless water rights. But if I need to stop and fill up some barrels or something, you know, I can, and nobody can say anything.
But I got rainwater.
And we have rainwater too to fill the barrels, but sign's probably gonna blast us in the face. And the people down at the mouth of the holler where we turned in, they've not been here long at all. They bought the farm out next to mine as well, and they've kind of destroyed this road and then built their own road. So thanks to them.
You got an Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
There's the sun. People that live in the city or more urban area are probably like, where the hell are they going? It's like a scene from Wrong Turn. You hardly ever hear from anyone over here. The guy that lives up here next to where we turn in is pretty cool. He gives us pot seeds.
He's our best friend for life.
Like, we're having trouble finding seeds. He came out with a bottle with like 100 in it. Like, here you go. They were good. They worked. They all. And pot's legal here before someone gets a frown on their face. Should be legal across the whole world. Shit's awesome. Makes the world a better place. My videos are crazy. We go from talking about wildlife to smoking marijuana. And I'll probably have to take the propane torch to this lock this morning. I had to get in the shop. But we are here. My land starts here, actually on the road that we're on too. This camera lens was really dirty the other day and you couldn't see much of anything, but we cleaned up a lot of that. It was all the way over into there, and I don't know how many rows of trees there was. There's a little tree we could cut. My daughter's fort she built. Don't tear down my fort.
5 gallons.
About 5 gallon water in it. Trip over a locust tree. Like I said in that video, if you ain't cut locusts, it's something else, even a little small piece.
Probably spring where we can sit.
And this was a dump find here. I don't even want to know what this would cost. I'm sure someone will know. Big water trough. But they had a pipe welded, or not welded shit, mounted in the bottom. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a valve on it and a water hose spigot, and we'll gutter off the back of this building. It's frozen. It caught a little water. It's not rained a lot, but it's honestly probably shooting over it.
Well, no, unless we come right there.
Some of that milled lumber. There's a tree. Big hickory's here somewhere. I think there it is where the squirrels threw acorns at us back in the summer. Big oak up there. It's mine. We'll just leave it. Just thought I'd shoot a little video so it wasn't nothing but saws running. Some of you, a couple of you said you really like the commentary on the other video. We might do that more often. I don't like watching videos of somebody just cutting and running a saw for half an hour straight myself, but makes for good background noise while you're running your mouth. Oh well, I suppose we'll head down the hill and put this $3.95 on a piece of wood. Cold start. It's like 25, 26 degrees out. This thing I've been cutting on a little already, but it's a little over 2 feet as hard as a rock. We'll run it out some on it and see if we can get it in something else here, but let's see how it starts. And this is one of those saws you want to use a decomp on, or at least the ways I do. Third pull and cold.
Yes.
Alright, let's see how it starts back, guys. Morgan, I'd say she's good to get back in the mail and head back to Florida. Yeah, guys, she's pretty dang bad. I fattened the hide jet up a little bit. It was screaming up there a little higher than I liked in the beginning. It's still safe, but something like this, I'd rather have a little fatter tune, and I'll probably fatten it up even just a little bit more before I send it home. Mainly due to, you know, the air being a little different down there. Just to give you an idea of actually how big that piece of wood is, and you can see the knots all in it. She gets with it. That's that farmertec chain. As you can see, I had it pretty tight. She's already starting to stretch a little bit. They'll stretch a couple times, and they tend to hold their edge pretty good. It's still sharp as it was when I got it out of the box. But alright guys, port work is done. These cameras never really pick up the true polish on those. It's picking up every little reflection in the gym. I know not everybody's a complete fan of polishing or think that it doesn't work, but you know, I've proved it time and time again. Hell, we even pulled apart a mill and saw, and cylinders still look good. Transfers, and these cameras make things look a little different than they actually look by the GoPro does. You can see what we done. We did do a little with the uppers, very little, mainly just clean up work. Didn't really go crazy with those, but the lowers I didn't go real crazy with either. It may look like it, but we just kind of removed that big lip and, you know, blended in and drug them down a little. I've seen a lot of people cut this out. If I had a lathe in here to where if I screwed up and nicked to the base, I'd probably do that too, but I'm just kind of afraid to do it and know that I'd end up with catastrophe and end up having to pay to have a cylinder decked. But so we'll just leave it be and leave it there, and you know, it'll be just fine anyway. Intake port, ain't gonna lie, I really didn't do a whole hell of a lot with it, mainly clean up work. Got the plate and overhang out of it on the sides and in the floor of it. Done our normal, you know, clean up and little flow characteristic work, nothing crazy. And left like I'm trying to get the light to where it'll shine on it right. It seems like I'm getting some funky shadows here tonight. You can feel a texture on that if you feel it too. I mean, it's not as slick as it looks. Same way with the transfer ports, but I'll get my intake out and get it clamped on and get this thing glued on here, and then I've got to work on the muffler, and I ain't 100% sure I'll get it running tonight, so you know, whatever. I'm in no rush on it anyway. This is something you don't want to rush. I've spent all afternoon doing the support work. I've seen guys do it in a 20-minute video. I'm not that talented, I guess, but or maybe they don't go and do the fine detail work that I do, or you know, they may not be showing everything, but I'm just not able to do it. I like to take my time, and I'm not saying my stuff's perfect. Some of these professionals that do it for a living, you know, they could nitpick it to death for sure, but you know, I've had my hands on a lot of cylinders, and you know, I do my best to try to make it as good as I can to the best of my ability, I guess. But did we show that exhaust port on the inside? I ain't 100% sure. I'll do that and then I'll quit running my jaw. But there, you can see the polish on it now. We did widen that slightly. Like I said, I wasn't going to go overboard with it. We'll get it back on here, and hopefully we can get this thing running in a little while.